Hi everyone, welcome to Lauren's Scraplot. My name is Lauren Urbonis and I am so happy that you have found the Great North American Stamping Show. We are on season 6 and this is episode 4. Every week I go head to head with my fellow competitors, Julie, Jodie, Lisa, and congratulations to Julie, by the way, for taking the crown last week. And we create a project that hopefully wows your senses and gives you inspiration. Now, you have a chance after you've watched this video to click the description below and find links for the other 3 ladies. Please go watch their videos, give us all comments and interact with us, and then give a like to the video that you think should win for the week. But along with our projects, we are so excited this week to announce a collaborative Traditions and Treasures retreat in a box. So I'm in Canada, so if you are here in Canada, you can sign up with me. The other 3 ladies are in the States and they will have links in their descriptions for you to sign up as well. But of course, if you're elsewhere in the world, you can also use any of our links and purchase the PDF tutorial. Unfortunately, we can't ship these outside of our country, but we are offering full retreat kits for anybody in the Canada and US regions and a PDF tutorial option for anybody outside of that option. So let me explain what this is going to entail. I do realize our video is going to be a little longer today, but it will be worth it, I promise you. So the ladies and I decided we wanted to sit down and recreate something in the holiday catalog. So what we settled on was this Keeping Traditions Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. That is found in your holiday catalog if you're looking on page 8 and 9. You can see there's a full spread, a nice little layout of all of the fun stuff that Stampin' Up! Offers for a memory keeping moment. But paper, stickers, die cuts, all sorts of things that are found in these kits can be recreated to make so many other possibilities. So that's what we decided to do. We are not going to be sitting down and making the scrapbooking workshop kit with you. In fact, we have dissected all of the pieces and we have come up with 8 cards and 2 over-the-top 3D projects for you to recreate with us. So if you're in Canada, the cost for this kit is $105. That includes shipping. It includes a full set of this scrapbooking workshop kit, which we're going to dissect with you and make projects with you. You're going to have lots of extra pieces like you can see in front of me. We have a couple more cards to design, but there will still be lots left over. And you will also get some attendee only gifts. I'm not going to spoil the surprise on what those are, but you will get spoiled. We are super excited. We maxed out our planning and our budgets down to like the pennies. And then also a full PDF tutorial. So this retreat is not a live event. We realize the holiday seasons are just immensely busy for everyone. So we decided to do something different. We're offering basically this retreat for you to do on your own time. So we're starting registrations as of tomorrow, and you will be able to register through to October 15th. As of that day, we won't have any more kits available. You can still purchase the PDF tutorial, and then you'll have to buy the workshop kit on your own. You won't get all the gifts, but you'll get the PDF tutorial, and we will mail out all of these kits by the end of October, by October 31st. That will also be the date that we send out the PDF tutorials. So for those of you who are ordering both things, you're probably going to get the PDF tutorial before your kit arrives, and that's okay. You'll have a chance to look over it and to see what's going to happen. And then once your goodies arrive, we will have full directions on where you need to chop, what you need to chop, how you need to create our projects, and you can do those anytime during the holiday season. So our hope for you is that you find this a really relaxing and flexible option. And then we do realize there's some of you who are demonstrators yourselves or are not in our markets. So our PDF option is basically going to give you all of our PDFs, our cuts, our measurements, our tutorials. But of course you would have to purchase the Keeping Traditions kit on your own. There is also going to be a suggested set of additional projects, such as the traditional labels bundle and some embellishments and ribbon that you would probably want to grab to spruce up your projects if you wanted to create them exactly like we did. So those details and the registration link are down in my description, so please click on that. You're able to sign up with me if you're in Canada or need a tutorial, and then if you're in the States and want the shipped out kit, please head to one of the other ladies and support them as well. We're just all doing this together. We're all doing the same things, so it honestly to us does not matter who you sign up with. We are just delighted to craft with you. So that's how the retreat is going to go. But not only are you going to receive ideas from us before and after the retreat that complement this suite, you're probably going to see a lot of ideas on our other websites with additional projects too. So I'm going to leave it at that. We will maybe do a sneak peek later, but get your registrations in because we would love to see how many people we're prepping kits for and start working on that for you. So Keeping Traditions Workshop Kit. Lovely, super fun. This kit complements in the catalog this Traditions of Christmas suite. It's a mega suite on page 22 and 23. If you watched my video last week, I showed you a tag how to use this. So we decided, okay, well, we're going to promote the workshop kit and we're going to play with some of these complementing products as well. So I decided to do something a little different. I went with this suite, but I went with the sister project kit that you can find on page 45. Now this sister project kit is kind of a combination of the scrapbooking workshop and the mega suite because it gives you the sticker sheet that you can only find in the scrapbooking workshop, and then the paper with the gold foil that you can only find from the suite. Because the paper in the workshop kit is beautiful and it comes in 3 of these designs. I think 1, 2, and 3. The other ones aren't included, but it doesn't have the gold filigree. So I needed that for my project today. So if you're looking for just my project, you're going to want to purchase this Traditions of Christmas specialty sticker sheet and paper. That's on page 45 and my website's at the bottom. You can purchase the whole suite, or I really do suggest this. Sign up for the retreat because with the leftover pieces and there's minor additions, you're going to be able to create what I am showing you today. Okay, so we love traditions. We love holiday traditions, and we wanted to share with you guys what some of our holiday traditions are. So for me, one of my holiday traditions actually started before I had kids. It wasn't something we did growing up, but it was something that I started doing with some of my students when I was an educational assistant. So this massive thing is not even going to fit on here. Look, okay, so I made once upon a time this board with my Cricut for the lettering and then these old papers and numbers, and you're like, hey, that's kind of cool. This is massive, so it's not fitting in the screen. I'll hold it like this, see? It is called Acts of Service. And so what I did with my students was we would brainstorm at the beginning of December, what is something that we can do to show kindness or love to somebody else? And I worked with kindergarten students primarily. So honestly, most of the time it was, we can pick up a piece of garbage in our classroom, or we can play with somebody who doesn't have a friend, or we can give somebody a high five. So as your kids get older, of course, the tasks and the ideas are going to mature with them. But this is also something you can do as an adult. For 24 days, instead of just thinking about gifts and presents, it was a nice focus for us to think about somebody else. So I glued these little clips on, and then on the back is where we would write our little notes. This was one that I've refreshed because over the years I just cut and glued a new piece of ivory onto each of those sections. And sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so I don't want to make everything drop by adding this back. But you can see this thing is really big, and it's great for a classroom because a classroom is huge and we have lots of people who want to view it and visualize it. But I was thinking, okay, how can I make that tradition smaller for my household? So I have 2 boys, and we did this a little bit last year, but just not with this little box. We used my old calendar. We pick something that we can do every day in December, and I kind of strategically plan according to a calendar. So if it's a school day, it has to be something really quick and simple. So it can be going and picking, something up for mom and helping our neighbor shovel their walkway. It really depends on how much time we have and how much time I think is realistic for the tasks. On a weekday, they have to be quick and simple. On a weekend, we did something like bake cookies for, again, an elderly neighbor. So those are a few ideas and a few traditions, but I decided to make my traditions in a box this year. So here are my December traditions, and we're going to do this together as a family. So this little decal here would not be part of the workshop kit. It does have to come from the designer series paper, and so does this flower, but everything else, like this December traditions sticker and the papers, they're all in that workshop kit. So you'll be able to create this with me. So here we go. Let me show you how this works. So inside my little box, I have done 24 little envelopes. Oops, that's working from the back. Oh well, that's fine. Here's number 24. And then there's a little card inside for us to write what we would like to do. And these cards, I actually think this is better for me because I will just be able to recreate this every year by cutting myself a new scrap of paper and putting it inside. And maybe I could just save the 25 little sheets of paper in our memory box. And over the years, we can see how the boys have grown and developed and, decided to do something different for somebody else. One of the ideas is also to find 3 toys from our playroom to donate. That's another thing that I may or may not throw in like 2 or 3 times during December because it helps us clean out some of the toys the boys don't play with, and it gets them thinking about gifting to other people instead of just making their wish lists, which is wonderful. But all right, would you guys like to learn how to make this box? Let me show you. Okay, so we're gonna start with one of these little cards. Okay, so I have 24 of them done. We need to make number 25. So for me, I alternated between Secret C, I'll show you one of those, and Cherry Cobbler for my 2 because the stickers come in a vanilla and a cherry cobbler form. So in order to make these, you will need 13 pieces of Secret C that measure 3 inches by 5 inches. Okay, 3 inches by 5 inches. Let me turn this around here for you. We're going to put a score mark at 2 and 4. And that's how we're going to make these little envelope pieces. Okay, so to make the envelope, we'll just fold that and that. And what this ends up giving us is a pouch and an overhang. So to do the pouch, we're going to put a little bit of adhesive right along the edges. Glue would probably be your best bet because the double-sided tape tends to be a little thick. I happen to have 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape, so I'm going to do that just because it will make this a lot quicker to dry, and I can actually put my pieces in here to show you. Okay, and close your envelope up. If you've got a bone folder, go ahead and give a nice crisp line on those sections. Okay, so that makes a pouch. To do your little card, you can grab any white or any vanilla. Honestly, it doesn't have to be what I'm using. But when we were playing with this Keeping Traditions kit, let me find the sheet, I came across this page, which is 12 by 12 and is fantastic for memory keeping, but nobody used it so far on their card designs. So I stole it and I chopped up 24 pieces that were little and lined to go inside my envelopes. So these little pieces are going to be 1 3/4 tall by 2.5 inches wide. Okay, you just need a bunch of them. Do you see how I got them? See? 1 2 3 4 5, just a billion of them. You don't need, it doesn't matter if they're these lined pieces, but if you have the kit, this is what you can use this page for. Otherwise, you're just going to go ahead and do 1 3/4 by 2.5 with a white or vanilla piece. And of course, when you're doing replacements, you'll have to cut extras for that too. So that would be the inside here. Now to decorate the front. Okay, so here is one other step that of course you wouldn't have the stamp included, unfortunately, in the workshop kit. But if you decided to branch out and grab the Christmas greenery stamp set, you would find this amazingly large flower bouquet, and you can add a little bit of stamping detail to your project. So this is a completely optional step. You don't have to do it, but you should do it on some scrap. I need a scrap. I always forget to have a scrap paper handy. Okay, you don't have the scrap, don't worry about it. You can use any other flower that you have. Maybe you want to emboss the front of this, doesn't matter. But if you want to do this on the 13 pieces of Secret Sea, you're going to stamp with the Secret Sea ink. On the 12 pieces of cherry cobbler that you have also done this with, you're going to stamp with cherry cobbler. Okay, so I'm only showing you one of these. You will have to sit and watch a Netflix movie while you plug away on this, but I promise you it doesn't take that long once you get everything cut. Okay, see, it's so pretty. It just adds a little extra detail. Okay, now I'm going to bring this one back for you to see, and this one back for you to see. Okay, so to decorate, we have to cut some decals. So these are the little gold decals that come from the traditional labels die set. To do all 25 of these envelopes, you will need 25 of these cut out of gold foil, and we're going to pop that up on dimensionals to finish. So you'll watch one and then you'll have to come back and do the rest, but I promise you it's worth it. This is such a wonderful keepsake, and to be honest, I think I'm gonna have to make 2 of these so that each of my boys can have one for their memory box to keep forever, and we'll just make it a new family tradition. Instead of our big board, we'll do this guy. All right, that goes in the center. Next decor piece here, you can see I've chosen 2 different designer series papers. Those are going to be the back sides of 2 of the papers in the workshop kit, and you just decide which one you want. I went with, the cherry cobbler on the Secret Sea page and vice versa. So here's my little polka dot piece. Sorry, doesn't want to focus that high. I will need, because this is the Secret Sea one, I'll need 13 of these red polka dots, and then I would need 12 of the Secret Sea circle pieces. This die is also from the traditional labels die set, so like I say, you may decide to add that die set on if you'd like to kind of maximize these projects as much as possible. But what we're trying to show you is a whole kit that you can do without having to purchase much extra. So you can certainly use a punch or a die set that you own already to kind of get the same idea. So there we go. Find the middle point for that. Okay, now when we get to these flowers, this is another reason why I said you couldn't really make this project just with the workshop kit. You needed to buy that sticker sheet that I mentioned with the designer paper, because the designer paper has this set of gorgeous flowers, as well as the flowers that we used on the lid. You can use a die to cut out this large one. We're not using it today, but then you can use your scissors to find these leftover flowers. There's tons of them hiding in the pages. We're just going to fussy cut around this flower. I know fussy cutting isn't your favorite, but it's pretty forgiving if you remember it doesn't have to be perfect. Give yourself a nice wide border of white. Don't go right up against the flower or the leaves. And just loosely cut around the shape, okay? We're covering up half this flower. Nobody's gonna see that. And nobody's gonna comment if you're slightly unsymmetrical, okay? I sneeze half the time when I'm die cutting and something moves anyways, so don't stress. Okay. So there are more than enough flowers in that paper pack for you to do this project, this whole project. You'll need 25 of them, okay? The flowers are going to be this full flower, and then there's a few that give you kind of a flower that just looks like this with just the one leaf. You can use both. They'll both look great. Putting a little bit of adhesive on the back. I didn't pop that one up. I just did a little adhesive flat. We're going to add that to the left of our tag. Also, these tags are yours. Do whatever you want with them. And then we need to find the numbers. So I grabbed that sticker sheet. There's 2 decal sheets in the pack of the workshop pack, but the sticker package only has this sheet in it. And so you can see we've used a few of them already for cards, but I have my numbers left. So here's number 25. That's what I'm going to grab. It's funny because they actually give you this 25 and this 25. So if you want it to be different, you can. I don't want it to be different. I like symmetry. And then from this sheet, this was December, and this is traditions right here for the front of the project. Okay, so you can, because this is a sticker, of course, put this flat onto the project and not have to worry about anything. But I kind of like to pop this up. So what I'm going to do is I actually take this and I just stick it on my clothes to start taking away some of the stickiness. If you just lift up and down, it loses its stickiness and just becomes a piece of paper now. Another nice thing that people do is they take their embossing buddy from the embossing set and they just rub the powder on the back. That also works, but then I have to get my embossing powder buddy out, and this is easy because I just have clothes on. Well, yeah, hopefully we all have clothes on. Okay, 1 large dimensional. We'll pop this up on our project, and that goes right in the middle. Now, if you're like me, you like things centered and perfect. So here's where my little tweezers from the embossing are going to come in handy. So I can put this exactly where I want it, because it's so tiny, it's hard to place on there. See, there's number 25. So cute. And then of course your box will be filled with numbers 1 to 25. And this box fits them all perfectly, like so. Want to learn how to make the box? You're going to be here with me for a while. So if you'd like to learn how to make the box, I'm going to make this for you, but I am warning you, this is now 2 projects. So I apologize. It's not a short video today, but it's worth it. Okay, let's make our box. So we need a box base and we need a box lid. 2 projects in 1. This is why I should get your vote. Let's start with the box base. This is a piece of Secrecy. We need to do a little scoring, but it is 7 inches. Here, you can see this. It is 7 inches by 9 inches. Okay? We need to score at 2 inches all the way around. So how that works is we're going to line this up. Doesn't matter which way you start. You'll find the 2-inch line. Then you're going to rotate 90 degrees. 2, 2, and 2. Okay, looks pretty. We've got this set up, so we're going to go ahead and cut and score the lid as well before we decide to make a mess and start assembling everything. Okay, for your paper here, okay, I did sheet. I used the poinsettias with the gold filigree, but you can also use the plainer poinsettia that's in the workshop kit. This piece is going to be 5 inches by 7 inches, and we're scoring at 1 inch all the way around. So pick the side that you want to have showing, and then turn your paper over. We want to score on the back side of this, okay? So 1 inch, rotate, 1 inch, rotate, 1 inch, rotate, 1 inch. Scored at 1 inch, scored at 2 inches. This should be where we're at the moment. Now we need to do some cutting. Okay, nice fancy cutting. This one is the easiest to see. Whoops, I need to cross my legs. So I'm going to do this one. And then this one I'll do in front of you, but it'll be harder to watch, okay? So I'm going to pick one side that's facing me. It doesn't matter at the moment what that is. And you see this little line here that's going up, 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 and then stop because it hits another line. We're going to cut up that line. Stop. Now we're going to rotate 90 degrees. We're going to find that right hand side line and cut up once again. And stop. Rotate again. Got that right hand line. Cut all the way up. And stop. And rotate again. Find the right hand line and cut up. Okay, now if we rotate one more, it'll take us back to the beginning, which is perfect. So these are going to be our little flaps. They'll fold in to make the box pretty, but squares don't always line up perfectly. So what we're going to do is we're just going to trim a little bit off of these single squares. Okay, don't touch the other pretty parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, don't touch those. We're only going to, on the right hand side, cut diagonally up to the corner. So that's cutting the little triangle section off, and then still on the same flap, same idea, okay? So you're cutting 2 triangles off of that just so it can fold in and nobody's going to see any ugly edges, okay? So we've done one. We're just going to rotate, do the exact same to this panel, chop off, rotate again, chop off, and chop off. And we have one more to go. See, we're just going to make this easy for us. No mistakes. Because we're just doing one step at a time. Okay, super pretty. It kind of looks like a really odd pinwheel. Put this to the side. And let's keep cutting while our brains are in cutting mode, okay? So this one, like I said, it's going to be much harder for you to see, but the same idea. There should be a little line here in this bottom right. You cut up to the connecting line. And I can't even see here which way is easiest to see. I'm going to cheat, and usually I fold afterwards, but I'm just going to fold now because... and I'll do a bone folder fold in a minute, but it's actually going to be easier for me to see a folded line. Here we go, much nicer. Okay, cut up the folded line and stop. Cut up the folded line, stop. We're rotating 90 degrees every single time we're doing a step. So we've got 4 loose things. Ooh, I should mention, if you find when you put this box together that things are a little tight, It might be because you were too precise with your measurements. So one suggestion for you just at this moment is you could go to your trimmer and just take off like a tiny little bit from the side, like an eighth of an inch from these flaps on all four of the sides, if you're worried, or like once we get to folding the box, if things don't match. I'll re-explain that in a minute. Sorry, I shouldn't confuse you. Okay, take off our triangle sections, get those out of the way. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. There we go. Okay, now we need to put a little adhesive on these things after we fold them. Okay, folding on all the lines. Nice crisp furnishings. Go. Like so. Okay, here's what I mean. Let's pretend that we've put this box together and then we've put our lid here. Is the lid fitting over top of it, or is it too snug? Mine fits. So if you're seeing that, oh my goodness, mine has no wiggle room, nothing's moving, now is the moment where you would just go to your trimmer and kind of just slice like an eighth of an inch off these flaps. Okay, that will help it to be a little smaller for you, but I think we should be all right. Let's turn these over so they're kind of popping up on our tables, and we're going to put adhesive on our little flaps. So I like to put adhesive on the top of the flap and the bottom of the flap. Okay, so there's 4. You can use glue too, that would make your life easy, but I think tape is easy for you guys to see. 2, 3, and 4. Hey, onto this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4. I also think this would be a really nice idea for a teacher's gift if you're looking or maybe something for the students. They could each, instead of like an acts of service box, this could be a little note from each of the students in each of the days that your teacher could open up. I kind of want to play with modifying the sizes of my envelopes and maybe do gift cards so that our teachers could have like a $5 coffee card each day leading up to Christmas, and then something fun for a Christmas present. But that's where my brain is playing with this idea. Here we go. We need to start assembling. So we're going to take off the adhesives here. So yeah, I'm curious, in the comments, since we're all building boxes together, would you type something that you think a good act of service could be? It can be something that's appropriate for kids, or something, if you think you might want to do this as an adult, that would be an idea for you. But I will warn you, I might steal some of the ideas for my kids. I try to let them brainstorm kind of as much as possible. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you that. Okay, we're tucking these underneath. But I would really be interested in hearing what your suggestions are. Okay, so we're just tucking all these flaps underneath the panel beside them. And then for the lid, we're going to do the exact same thing. That we did was we wrote a thank you letter to, we just call them our helper at the grocery store. So it didn't really matter who we had at checkout, but we drew them a picture and we wrote them a thank you card and bought a $5 Tim Hortons card and gave them to our cashier when we did our Saturday grocery trip. And that was kind of fun because then the kids just got to say thank you. We had no idea who the person that we were going to get was, but we just gave it to whoever our cashier was and just said thank you for doing an amazing job and helping us buy our food. So, all right, all the way around. There's our box lid. Should slip nicely on top of things here. There's your little box. So this box perfectly fits all of these. And then to decorate, I just added some scraps. Okay, so for this strip here, this is, oh, I don't even remember. I think this was 1.5. Let me write it down. Let me look. It was 1.5. Okay, 1.5 by 4 inches for this piece in the back. And I popped that up on dimensionals. Then I took one of those flower decals and cut them out with the coordinating dies. You can also fussy cut them if you don't have the Christmas greenery dies. This was another flower from the set, and I just fussy cut that by hand and used the 2 stickers that said December Traditions. If you don't have those stickers or you want to put something else on, you can cut a tag of whatever you'd like and just put it right in this space. When you're doing your ribbon, I cut myself about 20 inches of it, and because this piece here is up on dimensionals, I could just tuck this under. It's kind of free-flowing. I didn't lock it in, and I think I'm actually going to not tie this again because my ends are starting to get frayed and I don't have a lot of extra to work with. So I would say I probably shorted myself a tiny little bit. Give yourself a little extra ribbon when you're wrapping this, but you can tie a bow on the top section right above here. And then add sequins. Those sequins are fantastic. They come in all sorts of colors, so green, red, gold, and blue. Right here they are. And those are part of the Traditions of Christmas suite. So I hope you loved today's project. If you're listening right now, thank you for sticking around to the end. I know it was a little bit long, but I hope it's worth it because if nothing else, you can make a gift box and decorate it and just gift it away. Or you can do what I'm doing and make a 24-day acts of service or encouragement note little gift set. Please make sure to like the video, register for our Traditions and Treasures to Go class because we are going to spoil you rotten with ideas and projects. And yeah, reach out if you have any other questions. I'm so happy to hear from you anytime. So I'd love to hear from you again, and go watch the other ladies' stuff if you haven't fallen asleep by now. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next week on Thursday night for another edition of the Great North American Stampin' Show. My YouTube channel, Lauren Scraplot, also has videos every Tuesday night, so go check those out because they're there for you guys too. See you later. Bye.